Live from New York, it's the Financial Services Breakout. It is so wonderful to see all of your beautiful faces out there, particularly with those headsets on. My name is Marie Rosecrans, and I have the good fortune of leading the Regulated Industries marketing team here at Salesforce. This afternoon, we are here to educate you. We're here to motivate you. We are here to inspire you. But before we do all of those things, I want to say thank you. I want to thank all of our financial trailblazers out here in the audience. I want to thank you, all of you, our customers, our partners. We are so grateful for all of you. We appreciate the partnership, and we most definitely appreciate you so very dearly. Appreciating that these times that we're in, I also want to call out the fact that I listen to a lot of podcasts, and one of the words that I hear a lot right now is the word uncertainty. Stock market volatility, recession risk. We hear about tariffs, and all of this comes at a time, all of this volatility and uncertainty comes at a time when some of you are faced with a labor shortage. Your workforces are feeling overwhelmed and taxed and burdened. But guess what? Your customers don't care about your process inefficiencies or your talent gaps. In fact, your customers have really high expectations, higher than they've ever been before. That customer that's thinking about retiring next year and has questions about their 401k, or that family that's looking for that perfect insurance coverage for their teen driver, they want easy, ready to access support and guidance when they need it most. And this isn't just a nice to have, these are baseline expectations your customers have of you today. And so I'm going to ask you to reflect on this really important question. What if agentic AI could make financial services more connected, more personal? What if it could help that overworked advisor with customer outreach, or that first-time home buyer with that loan application? I'm happy to let you all know that today we're here to announce Agentforce for financial services. Can we get a round of applause? These are pre-built, role-based AI agent templates that literally supplement your teams with digital labor. What does this mean exactly? Now your digital labor has industry expertise. And so now you can automate those routine tasks, those time-consuming tasks, so that you can scale personal engagement, and you can also literally have your teams focus on what is most important, and that is your clients and your customers. One of the best things about these events is that it gives our customers an opportunity to talk to one another, to learn from one another. And so it is such a privilege for me to invite Bob Bastian, CIO, and Carolyn Smith, Head of Service Operations US from Prudential, right up here. All right, Bob, we saw that incredible video this morning about Prudential, but for those who didn't catch that, tell us a little bit about Prudential and its mission.
Absolutely, and thank you for having me here. I'm, okay.
You're live.
We're live. So it is just so great to be here representing Prudential. Prudential has been around for 150 years, and we were established right across the river in 1875, and our headquarters are still there. The heart of Prudential has always been the customer, and so you see that in a lot of the videos and a lot of the things that we're doing along with Salesforce. And the customer expectations just keep changing, and they're not just changing in financial services, they're changing everywhere. And so our work together has really been pinned to our mission, and our mission is making lives better by solving the financial challenges of the changing world. And with a mission that's so critical across the world, we have 50 countries we serve and 50 million different customers. And we have different businesses. We have a retirement business, we have a life insurance business, we've got an asset management business. And just speaking of retirement, to talk about the challenge that we face, just in the US, 11,000 people a day turn 65. And so what can we do to solve that challenge? We need to be able to go digital. And that's where Agentforce comes in to help us with our mission.
Wonderful. Well, Carolyn, thank you so much for being here. You have an incredible opportunity as the head of service. Tell us a little bit about how you're continuing to innovate in this space and really incorporating agentic AI.
Absolutely. So as Bob mentioned, the customers are at the heart and the center of everything we do at Prudential. As depicted up here, our vision for customer experience as Prudential is to make it as easy as possible to do business with us. We know there's a strong correlation in effort and the ability for customers to want to promote our brand because of how we deliver service to them, anticipating their needs. And the ways that we're innovating at Prudential have data at its core. We're leveraging capabilities to make sure we can offer self-service to our customers, to our advisors, and the various different constituents we sell to make sure that we are anticipating customers' needs. We're giving them capabilities, but we're also blending that with the human empathy that will continue to always be important in the moments that matter across the service experience.
Thank you. Those moments that matter really naturally are so critical. And you, Bob, are responsible for bringing this vision to life with product and platform strategies. Tell us a little bit about how you're doing that.
Absolutely. It's just been an incredible journey. And because we're a large insurance company, we've been around for so long, we've had data for a very long time. And so the way we're thinking about this is not just wallowing in what we have from a platform perspective in terms of older data, we're really bringing it to life through digital assets and through Salesforce, but also keeping it very connected to the human touch. And so what becomes really important to us and why we're leaning in so hard as it relates to what we're doing with Agentforce is we want to be able to have our humans focus on empathy and insights, not data entry and follow-up. As you saw in the videos earlier, if you've seen throughout, it really just becomes about how do we connect with a human being? Because in the business that we're in, when someone calls up, we want to be able to talk to them and understand them. We don't want to have to deal with the technology or trying to find something from the past. And so our platforms are really focused on how can we make our humans have superpowers.
So incredible, wow. And now, Carolyn, how are you really thinking about the art of the possible in the future and making that work as you look forward?
Yeah, as Bob just mentioned, the human superpower is important, and we want to leverage the best of their skills, but really take those mundane tasks and automate them to the extent that we can get to the autonomous actions that Agentforce and other capabilities can bring. We want to ensure our service professionals are leveraging their skills and building up their skills to be part of the future workforce while meeting the growing demands of consumers. I mean, we all are consumers. We all have expectations as customers on what we expect and how we expect it. And the capabilities that AI and agentic AI with Agentforce will bring is the power to do just that, which is allow the best of the human to come to bear while also augmenting some of those tasks with automation and AI.
Love that so much. So Bob, there are a number of financial services trailblazers here in the room, perhaps on various levels of their agentic AI journey. What's some advice that you have for them as they look forward?
So I'll give two pieces of advice. One is your customers have an expectation of this. And so we need to think about the regulatory that we have. We need to think about the controls and all the different pieces that go into what our business is all about. But we can't let that stop us. This is an opportunity to be as innovative as we have ever been as an industry. And now is the time to really lean in. And Salesforce has been a trusted partner with us. We are really looking forward to the amazing things that we're going to do to become industry leading in terms of our service and sales.
Thank you, Bob, Carolyn, thank you so much. Talk about a company that is so mission aligned. Very much appreciate you and appreciate Prudential being such a valued customer. Thank you again.
Thank you.
All right, who is ready to see some Agentforce for financial services in action? I want to see those hands up. I want to see lots of claps. All right. Well, for that, it is such an honor for me to introduce my friend, Ahmed Zaman. Come on, Zaman.
Yeah. That's the coolest intro I've ever gotten before, actually. That's awesome. Let's get some energy going for a little bit, guys. Come on. I know we got the headphones on and everything, but there's some fun stuff to do here, right? And thank you, Bob and Carolyn, so much. That was amazing. Now, we've talked about how transformational AI is going to be. You've seen Patrick talk about it. You've seen the whole organization talk about it. But let's just be honest for a second. There's a lot to consider here, right? And there's things like data. There's things like governance, risk, that all comes with the fact that we have to implement this technology, right? This shouldn't be a surprise to anyone, and we know that. But we have a solution for you, and we're going to solve that problem. So let me show you exactly how we're planning to do that. And it all revolves around our digital platform here and our unified platform. It's not just how humans work together. It's not just about how agents work together, but ultimately, how do they actually collaborate and augment that experience together? Exactly, Bob, what you were just talking about as well, too, with Prudential. Now, again, it's not just about those agents working simultaneously, but Financial Services Cloud is going to provide deep data models in every single subsector. We're talking banking, we're talking insurance, you name it, financial services does it. We're talking about business processes that we're actually going to be showing you very soon, actually right after this, of adding a teenage driver into a policy. All of these are wrapped around Agentforce for financial services, right? Amazing stuff coming your way. So who's excited to actually see this stuff in action? Can I get some hands? We're good? We're excited? Awesome. But before I do that, can I just get a really big quick shout out to our amazing demo drivers, Marilee and Steph? Crushed it. Where's my guy, Jerome? Jerome is the one who put this all together, so thank you, Jerome, and obviously our amazing engineers in financial services. This was all you guys. So let's just head into it and ground ourselves in some numbers, right? There are 70,000 insurance offices across the United States. They represent over 270,000 employees. Just think about that for a second, right? I grew up in Cincinnati, Ohio, that has a rough population of about 300,000 people. So you're talking about an entire population set of individuals that actually represent us in our most important insurance journeys. It's a lot of people, and that's exactly where Agentforce for financial services comes into play. So let's actually head to an insurance office in this case and actually start going through this entire demo motion itself. Now, our insurance officer is going to actually work with a longtime customer of hers and actually get a teenage driver added to that policy. She just turned 18 years old and is heading off to college soon. I don't know who's getting their driver's license at 18, but fine, whatever, we'll go with this scenario, right? It's kind of weird, I got it at 16, but that's fine. Now, the biggest aspect that we want to show here is how do we actually make this easy for the customer and actually help potentially save some money and cross-sell as well too, right? So let's actually go into Agentforce and Financial Services Cloud and see how this all comes together. Now, the first thing I want you guys to focus on is that left-hand side right here. This is Data Cloud working with Financial Services Cloud all together. We're seeing things like a propensity to bundle, engagement scores, and all these other rich metrics that are so important for our agent to actually understand. So we move to the middle of the screen here. We actually have Tableau to show that real impact of the customer as well too, right? Again, a bunch of very, very rich data. But again, let's be honest, that's a lot of stuff. Now, let's go to Agentforce and just ask a very simple question in this case. What are the next steps? Agentforce kicks into action and starts reviewing accounts, records, summaries, and all of that information to provide a very human-centric, easy response and summary. You're able to see things like opportunities and other aspects like relationship health indicators that are so vital for this agent to actually understand and respond to their customer. But again, we're not done. We actually have to action off of all of this. So why don't we actually head over to Action Launcher here and just add that driver into the policy. So in this case, let's go ahead and select this policy right here. We'll choose the 1990 Honda Civic. That's plenty good for this 18-year-old. And actually go through the process to upload a driver's license into FSC itself. Now, once that's actually complete and we move on to the next steps, we're able to actually add a good grades discount because of our amazing academic record. We're able to recalculate that premium and ultimately get a confirmation page and generate documentation that actually shows all of this being complete. But you want to understand the actions that come from that. So we're able to see here, once this actually loads, the actual activity timeline that comes with that service interaction. You'll see that policy is updated in real time. But we're not done. There's probably a lot of parents out here who know that adding a teenage driver is not a cheap process. Now, in this specific case, this premium's gone up by $1,000. That's not gonna work. Let's just be honest, that's way too much money. So in other cases, we have to go back and go through all these different manual steps to figure out how to lower that cost. Not anymore. Agentforce is gonna do that for you. So we're simply gonna ask, how can I lower the premium? Very basic question, right? Also very human-centric. Agentforce goes back into that mode to actually analyze all that information, and in this case, actually responds with a way to actually cheapen that premium by $100 and bundle rentals insurance into the process that's required by her daughter's university. Now, again, we want to always make sure that the agent and the human are working together, so the human actually has to approve this finally. Once that bundling is created, we see a summary of all of this information to actually send to our customer. Now, in the past, you're the ones actually creating those emails, explaining that entire process, but Agentforce is going to do all of that for you. So you can see here, we start to actually analyze and finishing up the entire process with this pre-made template in front of you. So just looking at it, yeah, looks good. Let's go ahead and send that across. All of that information was done by Agentforce. I want to keep reiterating that fact as well too. Super easy and very, very customizable if needed as well. So who here actually wants to see how that was all done and head over to the back end? I assume many of you guys, right? Let's actually show how this stuff gets done. Well, Agentforce for Financial Services is going to come with 18 pre-built topics coming your way this summer. 2 of those topics that you just saw here, how we actually summarize an entire policy and bundle these quotes together, are just 2 examples. Again, 18 are coming your way this summer, but we're not done. All of those actions and tasks that I had described to you as well too here are all grounded in your real-time data with your governance and frameworks all attached to it. We all know that governance and frameworks are going to be a part of your guys' process, and we've thought that through and we've solved it for you as well too. Everything you've seen here today, by the way, is no code. We configured every single aspect of this demo, which is amazing. And ultimately, our goal here is to make sure that insurance offices not just survive in all these economic headwinds, but actually survive, right? And honestly, with that, what I want to do is pass it over to my great friend Kelly to show even more innovation coming our way this summer in banking.
Hello,
I know,
thank
right?
you. Hello, New York. Let's talk about community banking. Our commercial banker, Alan Carter here, his life's work is about building strong relationships with his customers, understanding their needs. But oftentimes, he spends a lot of his time on administrative work, right? So today, he had that exact same issue. He had a day full of client meetings, and at the end of the day, after a full day of client meetings, he heard a voice ringing in his head. It was his manager, and it was saying, if you haven't updated Salesforce, that client meeting never existed. And how many of you in this room today have either said those words or heard that voice? Show me a quick show of hands. Exactly. So the hard part for Alan is not going out and building those relationships. That part is easy for him. It's figuring out what system to update at what time, and then hopefully how to get some value out of that at the end of the day. So what I'm excited to show you here today is how Financial Services Cloud and our pre-built templates for Agentforce are going to completely reinvent Alan's post-meeting workflow. This is Financial Services Cloud, and I can see here we're looking at the account page for Morris Roasters. They are a small coffee company with some big expansion plans. But I want you to take a look at this record because this is not your average Salesforce account page. This is a rich banking client profile, and it's powered by industry-specific pre-built components in Financial Services Cloud, and it's built for bankers. So this is where Alan does his work, but guess what? Alan is not the only one getting to work here. Agentforce works here as well. Over on the right-hand side, we can see our activity panel, and there's that Morris Roasters meeting record. Alan had a discussion with them today about their expansion. If we click it and open it up, we can see that it's been synced in. It's attached to the account record. We see Morris Roasters there. We can see the contact that he met with. But there's something else important going on in this meeting invite, and that's Alan's handwritten notes. He was able to just take a photo of his notes, attach it to the meeting record, upload it from his mobile phone, and now this is no longer your average meeting record. This is important data and context that Agentforce is going to use to make updates on Alan's behalf. Let me show you how. So Ahmed took you into our Agentforce builder, and you were able to see some of those pre-built topics and actions that we're pushing out with our summer release. This is a prompt, and it's designed to understand that this is a meeting, and it sees this file from Alan's meeting notes. And it's taking the important information, important context, and it's building this summary that you see over to the right-hand side. And ultimately, this is going to power work downstream in Financial Services Cloud. If we go back to Alan's experience, all he needs to do is open Agentforce and simply ask the question, can you summarize my meeting notes? Now, Agentforce gets to work here, and it's going to produce one of those beautiful generative AI summaries. We've all seen them. They're fantastic, and they're going to help Alan be more productive. But there's something more impactful going on here. Remember, Agentforce can plan and reason, and most importantly, it can take actions. And what we see Agentforce telling Alan right here is that it, in fact, has done that. It's gone through his meeting notes, and it's found a couple records that need to get updated. And otherwise, Alan would have had to have been updating this himself. But Agentforce has done it for him. But we want to check Agentforce's work. So we're going to go here to our Interactions tab and start kind of checking out what updates were made. The first thing Agentforce did is it understood that there's some important new structured data that we need to create from those meeting notes. Here in our interest tags, it's tagged the expansion financing as well as their interest in commercial real estate. And if you saw those meeting notes when I had them up, those were two of the important points that Alan made. In addition, Alan's bank requires them to formally document all of their customer engagements and interactions. And they use the Financial Services Cloud interaction summaries to do that. So our pre-built template understands that this is an important record to create based upon that discussion that Alan had with Morris Roasters, and so there it is. Now, these are not the only manual updates that Alan would have had to make in Financial Services Cloud. There's some others. One of them that's really important is his account plan. So now he's going to just ask Agentforce, well, you did a great job with the other items. Can you update my account plan? And once again, Agentforce understands the context, and it's saying, you know what, Alan, there were some pretty significant elements of those meeting notes that are important to your account plan, and we can go ahead and update them. So let's go for it. We're going to click that View Account Plan button. What you're looking at here is another example of a pre-built feature in Financial Services Cloud, and it's called our Business Relationship Plans. So right here on the Overview tab, there's a calling strategy. And this is going to inform how Alan should engage the customer going forward. And we can see that it's telling him he should include thoughts and plans for how to create that financing package to expand their 6 new locations. This is not the only update that Agentforce found for the account plan. One of the things that Alan's bank requires is that he tracks formal objectives. Where is he looking to take this client relationship? And so it understood that a few of those elements from his meeting notes were relevant here as well. So it created an objective for the financing package. And also in his notes, he talked about exploring treasury management. And it's created that record here for him as well. So what have we seen here today? What would have normally taken Alan hours after an already busy day is now more streamlined and intelligent. And I'll promise you what one of the best things is he's no longer hearing his manager's voice in his head saying, did you update Salesforce? He knows that Agentforce has him covered. So can we give a round of applause to Agentforce here? All right. So Agentforce, if you thought that was our only innovation, that is wrong. We have a lot more in our roadmap. And think about compliance, everyone's favorite topic. It's always top of mind. A lot of times, your compliance systems are disconnected from the places where your business process is actually happening. And we're going to change that with Process Compliance Navigator. It allows you to embed your regulatory policies and controls directly within your business processes within Financial Services Cloud. So whether you are a banker sending a customer disclosure or Agentforce, maybe collecting application details, the policies and controls are embedded, and there's an audit trail that's tracking each step along the way. That is coming in our summer release, but we are still not done with our roadmap and our innovation. We also have exciting things coming when it relates to more data, more industry-specific data, pre-built business processes like the one that Ahmed showed you today with the adding the team driver. And we're building that data and those business processes for all of our sub-verticals. And then we're laying Agentforce on top of all of it. So we want to continue the conversation. We don't want it to stop here. Please go visit our solution engineers in the campground demo booth. You'll be able to see longer form versions of the demos you saw here today, plus more. We have some great reports, those first 2 QR codes. You can learn more about Agentforce for financial services. And that third QR code there, I would encourage all of you to get your phones out because that is our new LinkedIn community for financial services trailblazers. You can go collaborate with your peers, collaborate with folks from Salesforce, and hopefully create some great things. So thank you so much for joining us here today. It was our pleasure to have you. And we have one more ask before you leave, one more magic QR code, and that is our session survey. Please go ahead and take a moment to fill that out. We love to hear your feedback, and we use it to make these sessions better each and every time. So have a fantastic rest of your world tour, and thank you so much for joining us here today.